Okay, sir.
Please.
Good afternoon to the dignitaries and to all the participants. I once again welcome you all to the fourth day of 1 week national level online faculty development program on recent trends in cybersecurity and machine learning. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Madam, Dr. Umadevi, Madam. Madam.
Sir, good afternoon, sir.
Thank you. Let me take a few minutes to introduce you, Madam.
Yes, yes.
We are honored to have you here as a resource person, Madam. In spite of your busy schedule, you spared us your valuable time to share your deep insights about malware detection using machine learning. Dr. M Umadevi, presently working as an assistant professor in the Department of Computer Science, Sri Adi Chunchangiri Women's College. Her current area of research is wireless sensor networks, software engineering, and MANET. And she has done her PhD from Government Arts College, Coimbatore. She is a reviewer of CEC Net 2019 and ETRI. She was also a member of International Association of Engineers, and she has many research publications in various international national journals. And she also has 2 book chapters, out of which she had 1 publication in Web of Science and 2 Springer journals and 2 IEEE and 1 elsewhere. Thank you very much, Madam, for sparing your valuable time to share your thoughts in this online FTP. I welcome you to this online FTP, Madam. Over to you, Madam.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your introduction. Good evening, everyone. I'm Dr. M Umadevi, Assistant Professor, Department of CS from Sri Adi Sunchanari Women's College. I feel so honored to be the part of 1 week national level online FDP on recent trends in cybersecurity and machine learning. First of all, I would like to thank Sri K.V. Vishnu Raju sir, the chairman, Dr. G. Srinivasa Rao, the principal, Dr. Srinivasa Raju, the vice principal of AC, SVE, CW, and my special thanks to Dr. P. Kiran Sri sir, professor and head of the department of Sri Vishnu Engineering College for Women, for giving me the opportunity. I extend my thanks to organizing committee members also, and thank you so much. So today I am going to deliver a session on malware detection using machine learning. So I am going to share my screen. Yes, today's topic is malware detection using machine learning. So in this session, yes, sir.
It's not in the slideshow, madam. Can you make it as a slideshow?
Yes, it's in slideshow only, sir. Is it visible now?
Yeah, it is visible, but it is not in the slideshow, madam. Not in the slideshow mode, madam.
So I put in slideshow mode only.
Madam, what is that you can do is you can share the entire screen, then all these things will be visible. Like,
so it's like entire screen only for me.
Yes. Okay. Then you can proceed, madam. Then
Okay. So in this session, we are going to learn about better understanding of some kind of introduction about machine learning approaches, and what are the steps available to find out the predictions model, and some kind of basic introduction of malwares, and how machine learning works on some kind of data set. So here I have taken Android application data sets. So using some kind of code demo, it is going to be end in the final session. So before that, we start off with introduction. What is machine learning? Actually, the machine learning is the process of making system that learn. So every system should learn whatever we are giving to the system, that is data set. Based on the data set, the machine is learned from everything. For example, we can say, so separating in Gmail account, separating a spam from actual mail, it is also one of the example. And correcting grammar, spelling mistakes, it is like autocorrect, that is also considered as machine learning approach. Actually, it is what it does means it is going to predict and detect and some kind of grouping data samples based on the models, because we have different kind of models we are going to apply. So based on the models, it does the work. So it learns from the data sets. So the model is going to be learned from the data set. So what is the need of learning machine learning for cyber security is, yes, of course we are in need of learning machine. So that is, we are handling too much of data nowadays we are handling. So it is highly labor intensive when working with the manual work. So we need to approach some building models through the machine learning. That model can learn from the data sets. So I can say some examples of machine learning approaches. So kind of object and image recognition, detecting fake news, some kind understanding written or spoken words. So in recently, chatbot on websites that interact with the humans, that act like a human and reply like a human. So it is very famous in recently. So self-driven cars. So these are the kind of examples using machine learning. And machine learning, it can be classified into three categories, that is supervised learning, unsupervised learning, and reinforcement learning. So in supervised learning, so it takes data set as a raw data, and with the help of supervisor, the supervisor is going to train the data set, and with the desired output he is going to apply some algorithms, and after that processing they get the output as they get an output as with a classification based at the clustering based on the supervised learning, they get the output. So in machine learning, the another one is unsupervised learning. The same data set will be given as an input, and with the help of unsupervised algorithms, they are going to interpret with the different categories, and with the help of processing, they are going to be classified into number of records. So it is only the output of unsupervised machine learning. So what is the step, what are all the different steps we are going to apply in machine learning is, actually it is a kind of imparting intelligence. We are going to impart the intelligence to the machine. So it is completely learn from the existing previous one. Actually the reinforcement, third one is reinforcement. This algorithm is taken as an input, that is, feedback is taken as an input. So from the previous experience it is going to be work, and the model is learned from the existing data. The major step is initially started with collecting data. So initially the machine is learned from the data. So we can get different ways to collect the data using GPS sensors, social networks, smartphones, Wi-Fi signals. So these are the number of ways we can collecting the data, but the data should be reliable one without any duplications. Data should be reliable one, then only we can get a correct predictive patterns, So then after that only we can determine the quality of data. So initial stage it is very important collecting data. Next step is preparing the data. So after collecting data, you have to prepare your data set according to your model. So initially you are getting the data set as a randomized data set. So you have to do pre-processing step. That is, you have to do cleaning the data using whatever you don't want to the data. If it is any duplicate data, if it is any missing values, you have to you have to remove everything. So that is a process of preparations of data. Then after that you can visualize the data. So what are all the structures, if it is what are all the relationship between two columns. So everything will be it can be visualized using the visualized data. So next one is how to split the cleaned data set. So
Madam,
we have three.
Umadevi,
Yes,
in
yes,
which
yes.
slide you are, madam? We could see only this learning outcome slide only.
Learning out. Oh, sorry.
Yes, slides are not one. That is the reason the participants are asking about that.
Okay.
Yes. Now the slides are moving, choosing a model, something like that.
Yes. Okay. Splitting
Please,
the cleaned data. Is it visible, sir?
yes, madam, it is visible. Please proceed.
Okay. So in splitting the cleaned data set, we have three-step training set and a validation set. Most of the data set is allotted for training data set. Nearly 80% of data is allotted for training data set, and nearly 15% of data is going to be applied for your validation data set, and final for evaluating the your model. So that is going to be applied, that the data amount of data is 15% only. So we have to we have to split the data like this. So next step is choosing your model. So in machine learning, choosing a model is very important one, because we have number of models available. So it is very important to predict your correct accurate output. So so you have to, after predicting, you have to evaluate whether your data set is suitable or not, whether your model is suitable for deployment, for whether your model is suitable for based on the data set. That is because we have number of data set, that is a categorical based data set, numerical based data set. So based on the data set, you have to predict which model is going to be apply for your data set. It is very important one. For example, I can say if you are predicting the age of persons, so we have a number of attributes like height, weight. So what are the health activities? So everything we have different values. We have a different values. Suppose we are predicting that kind of data, means you can go for a regression type of model. So another example I can say, if you are predicting your stock market, whether it is going to be increase or a decrease during the particular time or a particular year, so or previously existing years, we are going to predict the timing, means you have to select. It is a kind classification model, because the data may be either increasing or decreasing. So in that case, you can go for a classification based algorithms. So next type of algorithms based on the data set means, for example, everyone, we are having online shopping. We are very much interested to buy a shopping online. So we have number of different types of behaviors, and we have or otherwise we have similar behaviors on selecting particular items, or selecting uh, duration. So like a big billion days. So like the days we got what are all the behaviors of selecting selecting items by the customers, that will be extracted, means you have to go for a clustering type of algorithms. So these are the some kind of examples I have given, which model is you have to you have to select for the particular data sets. So based on the data sets only, you are going to apply which model is suited for your program. So next step is training the model. It is also important for the modeling, for learning something. So you have to pass the prepared data. So after pre-processing, it is the data is going to be a pre-processed data. So you have to pass the data for predictions, for further predictions. Then after that, your model is learning everything. So what are the previous one? For example, whatever our program, we need some data. So the data is applied, for example, data is applied for algorithm. For example, x equal to a plus b. So we are assigning some values for a and assigning some values for b. Say 3 or 4 means after that execution, we are getting the output as my value x equal to 7 only. So but can I change my rule? If yes means that is machine learning. So then likewise, we need to remodel our program. So in traditional program, we have data and a program. After that execution, we are getting the output. In machine learning, we can remodel our program with the help of data and output, because it learns everything from the data, whatever we are giving already. So using that output, I got some experience to modify our program, that is called a machine learning. So here we are giving the input parameter to the machine learning model only, not for the algorithm. So this is what machine learning can be explained with the simplified manner. So for next 50 to 60 years, our machine learning is going to be dominated, as we all know. So another example I can say, in Google Map, suppose we are assigning some destination, it predicts, the Google Map predicts automatically which one is the shortest path. But we know it is perfect shortest path if you are familiar that place. So many of us do follow this kind of way. So from this previous experience, from if it has happened means, so based on our experience, we are driving in such way. So the Google Map is recorded everything, and it compares what are all the way that model is predicted, and what are all the what are all the way the driver is going to be uh, convey the method. So everything is compared by the Google Map system, and if it is considered as a less than, the shortest path is less than, it gets a less timing of shortest path, means it will automatically recorded everything. And if another user, if next user is going to be give the same destination place, means the Google Maps show the shortest path. So this is what the machine learns from the previous experience. So this is what we can call as machine learning. For example, in our I can say another example. Suppose if it is any construction over there in the shortest in the path means, it doesn't show the Google Maps doesn't show the particular path in your Google Map, because it is already gathered that information from the satellite and stored everything properly. So it is automatically learned from the system. So this is what machine learning works from the previous experience. So we have to, based on the data set, training the model is very important one. So next, you after selecting, after training your data set, you have to evaluate the model, whether the model is working perfectly or not. So testing by doing testing, the performance of the model can be judged. So then the performance, in the sense, the accurate level of your model can be judged. So here, if any model can produce 90 or more than 90 percentage, means we can get it is a good confidence level in your result. So likewise, evaluating model works. Next,
Yes, we could see this parameter tuning, something like that.
Yes, yes, yes. So the next step is parameter tuning. After accuracy, it is if it is not satisfied, one means you can tune your parameters using hyper parameter. It can be called as a hyper parameters because every models, every algorithms have some its maximum level of parameter tuning. So that kind of value can be changed after your evaluation for predicting a better result or accurate result. So after that, it can get a predictions in a better way with a proper accurate result. So then it is ready. Then it is ready means it is going to be deployed in your client side. So it is going to be applied in real time applications also. That is called it is ready model. So it is going to be for productions and we can get the performance of the model. So before this is what machine learning works in a number of steps. Then we have some introduction or basics of malware. So because here malware is malicious software, so it is a kind of design. It is completely designed for disrupt or damage, or it can do unauthorized access of any computer over the network. For example, we can say virus, swarm, spyware, ransomware. So these are the different examples. We can say it is a malware, and with the so in nowadays we are using internet in everyday life. So we much aware of malware because it creates serious threats in your day-to-day life. Yeah, here I have taken a Android application malware data set. I'm giving I'm giving as a input in our machine learning model. So I can predict my malware app and a good app using the and evaluated by accuracy, precision, and F1 score. But here I can take a precision score. I can check. I can give my output as a which one is a malware app, which one is a good app. So we can have number of malware types, like example spyware, worms, viruses, Trojan hearts. So these are maybe it can create a serious threats in our global industry, secure cybercrime industry. So it's just a kind of information. Actually, the estimate predicts the cost of cyber attacks by 2022 will be $6 trillion annually. So it's a kind of statistical report. So in 2021, the average ransom paid only by mid size the organization was $170 they are paying. So according to IETF, the cyber attack on a security that drives from serious threats like phishing, man in the middle, malware, zero-day exploitations. Actually, the zero-day exploitation will create a very dangerous problem. It is recently developed attack, a zero-day attack. Actually, the developer is act as a tester and a programmer. So they are but before identifying the errors by the developer, the hackers can identify the different type of errors, different possible of hacking the informations and breaching the informations from the user side. So in that way, the hacker can be able to get a serious threats in over the networks. So in that time, they are demanding the hackers demanding the developers for rectifying the errors. That particular duration that there is no time for rectification by the developer. So that time is called as a zero-day attack. So they are selling the web applications in the dark web with the millions of amount US dollars. So it is very dangerous one. And we can have number of tools for machine learning from Waker. We can import number of packages like NumPy, Pandas, and TensorFlows and AWS. So here I'm going to apply my data set in Python Jupyter. So I had taken raw data set. After pre-processing, the features are going to be extracted and it is compared by training phase and a testing phase. After that, I'm going to apply the classification algorithm. Finally, I get output as detection result. So this is the way I'm getting the output. So here I'm going to do some malware, which one is a malware app and which one is a good app. So on that network, based on the features, the decision tree classifier I'm here using here. So the decision tree classifier is able to predict or extract which one is a malicious app. Finally, I get the results. So here I can say some uh, I can show some code demo. I have taken Android application file from Google.com. It is very reliable one only. So here I'm taking a machine learning algorithm in supervised learning only. Uh, I have used a classification type of algorithm in predicting. So my file is android.csv file, android.csv file. So we have number of columns as CPU usage, CPU migration, page faults. So these are the different attributes so we have in a data set, Android data set. So here zeros and ones. Here zeros and ones are there in last column, that is malware column. So these are the malware column is denoted as output of the data set here. So it is completely dependent data set and remaining others are independent data set. So I can import necessary packages like NumPy, Pandas, and the Seaborn. Seaborn is used for plotting the graph, and sklearn for pre-processing, matplotlib. So these are the necessary things. Packages I have imported. Then reading file. I have read the file from android.csv just to show the output. The variable is stored in the data is stored in the variable data, and just to show the output, actually it has 70 and 17 rows and columns, 17 columns.
Excuse me, madam.
Yes.
Madam, the slides are not moving, ma'am. Still, it is there in how to implement machine learning steps in Python.
Oh, so really sorry, sir. I'm taking the unknown Jupyter. I'm no show the Jupyter notebook only.
No, it is. We are not able to see that, madam.
Wait.
Maybe you have to share the entire screen. It seems.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now it's visible, sir.
No, madam.
No.
Actually, I have opened from Jupyter notebook. Okay,
Yeah.
better. Is it visible now, sir?
No, madam. Can you stop screen share and restart it again, ma'am, so that.
Okay. Okay.
It's better to reshare, man. Reshare the entire screen, then we could see everything like.
Okay.
Yes.
Is it visible now, sir?
Yeah, now it is visible, man. Anaconda Navigator, we are able to see that.
Okay. So in Jupyter Notebook, I have taken my Android application.csv file. So here I can input some necessary packages. Import warnings, pandas, numpy, seaborn, matplotlib, everything.
We can
So
only see the navigator, ma'am.
Ma'am, we can't see.
oh, but it's visible only.
See, Anaconda
Uh,
Navigator, we
Anaconda
can see, madam.
Navigator.
After we are not able
After
to see.
that, Anaconda malware prediction file is visible. Is it visible, sir?
No, ma'am. No Jupyter notebook is visible.
Oh. Now the PPT is visible.
No, ma'am.
Okay, I'll again stop presenting, then rejoin again.
Share the entire screen, madam.
In sharing option, you have yeah, entire screen sharing option, ma'am.
Okay. Is it visible, sir?
It is
We
in the
could see,
Anaconda Navigator.
Anaconda
Ma'am,
Navigator, we could see, madam.
first, ma'am, stop sharing and then entire screen share.
Yes, I did. I did.
It has not stopped sharing, ma'am. It was still sharing.
Okay.
And now we are able to see this Jupyter.
Okay. Can you see now?
Yes, ma'am. Now we are able
Yes,
to
yes.
see the Jupyter notebook.
Okay. So what are the necessary packages I have to import for prediction? So here it is Android CSV file. I just read the file and store it in data variable and just displaying the output, what are all the data sets, what are all the columns, what are all the attributes available in a CSV file. Then we have number of columns like CPU usage, CPU migration. So these are the number of columns, and these all considered as a independent data set. And last column, in last column we have malware column. It is having the value 0 and 1. So here 0 means it is a good app and 1 means it is a malicious app. So this is what we are going to do for prediction. Which one is a malicious, which one is a good app. So it is completely, the malware column is completely dependent variable to the remaining columns. Here we have 70 rows and 17 columns. I just to show using the shape method. Here data dot shape display the output 70 columns, 70 rows and 17 columns. And I'm just to show the top five rows using the head method. Data dot head, it shows the top five rows in the data set. And here I import seaborn and stored as a variable as SNS. So I'm using countplat method for plotting your output. So here I have taken the x-axis is malware, 0 and 1, and y-axis we can have a countings. Here I can see the map that is 0 value is increased. 0 value is increased above 50 counts and one value is a decrease. It's very low. It's under 20 only, 20 counts only. So we can say it is an imbalanced data set. If from the graph, we can predict it is an imbalanced data set. That is 0 represent increasing one and 1 represent a decreasing one. So we have to make it as a balanced data set. So because we can increasing the number of majority class and decreasing the minority class, it shows the imbalanced data sets shows like that. But whenever we have trained data set, it must be equal or at least half or greater than or equal. So then only it is a very good, it produces a very good prediction. So we have completely imbalanced data set. For a balanced data, for making a balanced data set, I have to do sampling method. So we have two kind of sampling method. One is oversampling and undersampling. Here I am doing oversampling method. Here I can take a target count for counting the values. Here class to 0 and 1 it is assigned. So after sampling method, after sampling process, I can here I can given the statement given the method as oversampling. After that, here 58 and 12 is increased as 116 and 17. So it is kind of oversampling output. So after that, I can show the output as count plat. So using the grid values, I can just show the values. Now here the values are more or less equal. So now we can predict the proper method. So here 0 values and it is 1 value. And in supervised learning, we take a classification or a regression, whatever it is, but it must have a independent data and dependent data. As I said earlier, malware column, completely the malware column is completely the zeros and one values. It is completely dependent value of dependent variable of these values, independent values. So it is completely dependent. Here I have taken x value as completely independent variable values. Independent values means uh, except of malware column. Here y is a dependent values, that is malware column. Using iloc method, I can store the values in x and y. Here iloc is index location. Then I can just show the output first 5 rows using the x dot head method. So I can get the output on 5 columns and just to check the values. So y dot head. So I can get the values malware column only. So here I can shuffle the data set using shuffle method. X and Y should be shuffled here and it is stored in the X and Y. Again, and just after shuffling, again I check the values. First 5 rows will be displayed using the X dot head and Y dot head. And here I'm doing some pre-processing step using drop method x dot drop. Here I don't want here name column. So this name column, it may be considered as not necessary for our processing. So I just drop the column using drop method. Again, I show the output. What are the remaining columns after dropping the name column? Just displaying x dot head and y dot head. So now I'm getting the values in y dot head also. So here I've chosen some variables. I've given some variables x train and y train. So here x train and y train variables. Here x train is our data. X train is our data. What are all the data set we are giving, and y train Y train is output of data. Here Y train is output of data, and X test is output of we have data under testing. Actually, X test is we have data under testing, and Y test, here Y test is output of test data. Output of test data. So we have to know the four distinct data in four variables. Here I have given 0.2 test size, means 20% data is given for that testing, and here random state initialized is 0. So for this reason, it doesn't produce a different accuracy level while we are running the code. So initially it is assigned with a random 0. Okay. So after that, I just display what are all the columns, what are all the number of columns available in Xtrain. Xtrain means our given data, and Xtrain head first 5 rows only displayed in X dot Xtrain dot head, and Y train in the sense output of data. So Y train in the sense output of data, and just displaying the output using head method. And again, I go for a confusion matrix. I can just import a confusion matrix and a decision tree classifiers. So this only predict our output. So here I can use a fit method. Here I can use fit method for X train and Y train. Here X train and Y train are the parameters for the fit method. I'm just passing the values X train and Y train. So using the classifier, decision tree classifier, just to predict the value of X test. It is what are the given data sets that is stored in predict, Y predict, and just displaying the output Y predict. So after that, I can get output like this, ones and zeros. So we can have some ones and zeros here. One is represent as yes, it's have a malicious app. Zero represent it is not a malicious one. That is a good app. So after that, I can check the accuracy level of this model. Yes, I can get a better accuracy as a 0.95. So it is a good percentage only, because more than 90 percentage of accuracy, we can have a good confidence level. So next. So this is only the accuracy level of our model. So after that, whether our output is evaluating perfectly, means we have to we have to display the evaluation process using confusion matrix. Here I'm just passing the values. Actually, here my original output is stored in white test. My original output is stored in white test, but it is output. But this output is predicted by our model. This output is Y predict. Y predict is predicted our by model. So both the output must be compared using the confusion matrix. So for accuracy level checking, I'm just passing these two values for accuracy level checking in confusion matrix. So I'm just getting the output using confusion matrix. Using heat map, I can get output. Actually, the confusion matrix always produce the output as 2 cross 2 matrix. Um, so it must be predicted as correct or wrong. Actually, we have a four kind of output we are getting from the confusion matrix. That is how much predicted correctly in good app. That is 13. How much predicted correctly in good app, and how much predicted in malicious app. How much predicted in malicious app, and how much malicious app is predicted as good app. How much malicious app is predicted as good app, and fourth one is how much good app is predicted as a malicious app. Actually, it is completely based on the true positive, true positive, true negative, and a false positive and a false negative. So based on this, we can get a accuracy level using confusion matrix. So this is what I have given the content in PPT also. So, so like this, you can detect your malware app using machine learning algorithm. Here I have used decision tree classifier. It is a kind of classification algorithm supervised learning. So likewise, we can select a different models for based on the data set. We can select a different model. So from my side, it's over. So
Participants, if you wish to interact with madam, you can unmute yourself and you can interact. Anuj garu.
Sir, dear participants, if you wish to interact with madam, please unmute yourself and you can interact with madam. If you have any doubts, you can ask madam. Madam, it seems participants are clear with the
okay, okay, sir.
concept
Okay,
we have learned.
Yes, yes.
okay, sir. No problem.
Yeah. Thank you very much, madam.
Yes, yes. I think the presentation is very clear and precise actually.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, madam. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, madam. You gave us a deep insights on how malware detection can be done using machine learning. You have also showed us a complete hands-on approach on how we can detect the malware using different libraries and methods in Jupyter Python notebook, and also how shuffle method can be used so that different perspectives of detecting the malware can be done. And you have also showed us on how pre-processing can be done, and you have also showed us on how confusion matrix and decision tree classifiers to actually predict the malware. You gave us a clear hands-on approach in detecting the malware using this different methods, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am, for sparing your valuable time to share us your deep insights on this online FTP.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you.